Going live in 3, 2, 1. We're live! Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gamers Initiative Podcast, episode 28. It's my evening in the UK. I think it's 6:30 or 6:35, and it's early. It's Red the Panda. It's early in the morning for Red because I'm working the weekend away. We thought we would just cram this in. So hello, Red. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I've just kia ora, everyone. I have just kind of been what's the word for it? I've kind of had a pretty busy week. I haven't really been playing much actually. I finally finished watching the Matrix trilogy for like the 10th time ever because I'm obsessed with it.
Do you hyped to the new film then?
I will be, and I saw that there's a Scream 5 trailer, and I love the Scream movies, so I'm going to watch that. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the movie. Yeah, I love the Matrix universe. So yeah.
I didn't realise there was a new Halloween movie coming out.
Is there a new Halloween? Oh yes, there is actually. Yeah, I
Halloween
saw that, yeah.
Killer or something like that. I didn't realise that was out. I just see it on the side of a bus.
I finally watched Venom. I'd never seen Venom, and I actually really enjoyed that. So that was really cool.
I didn't mind it. The problem I didn't like with Venom is I didn't like the CGI in it, especially the fight scene at the end. It looked like a bit of a mess. It reminded me of Transformers, you know, when they fight and you just sometimes you don't know what's going on. It's just like stuff everywhere, and you just think, what's going on? Who's who? I thought a bit messy, but...
I've just
Squid Game. You finished that?
No, because I'm watching it with my sister, and we haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's so bad. I'm gonna finish it. I definitely am. But yeah, just been watching some of the most ridiculous posts and narratives out on Twitter, and giggling at how dumb people are. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really been doing much. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I was just gonna say, it's interesting about actually Squid Game, because it's got 100 and it's a broke a record, isn't it? The highest watched Netflix show ever, and its first week it had 111 million people. Bear in mind, it had no sales. Its sales were zero, so presumably, I imagine it's a flop, isn't it? Because it had no sales, but it had 111 million people watching it, so can't go wrong there.
Yeah,
and that means that must be 111 million people subscribed to watch it, I guess.
Are you trying to point out the correlation between Game Pass and Netflix?
Netflix is foul. It's trash. Only 60 rated programs on there. We're waffling on about TV. What have you been playing?
Oh my gosh, what have I been playing? I downloaded Back 4 Blood. I haven't yet played that. It would be my first time playing anything from, I guess, that kind of that world. I didn't play any of the Left 4 Dead games, so you and I are gonna try and play that.
Yeah. When you're ready, we'll play it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and play that with Coral, my sister. I haven't really been playing much this week. I've just been really, really exhausted. I had a new induction start, and it's full on. So full on because it's doing complete remote from home. But yeah. What about you? What have you been playing this week?
Right, so I downloaded Back 4 Blood. I have to say, I did give it. I played it for about an hour or so. You've not played Left 4 Dead games, you don't know. The quality isn't there. It isn't up to the same level as Left 4 Dead 1 or 2. And it comes across as more as a AA game rather than Left 4 Dead was come across as much more AAA. This comes across more of a AA. Still enjoying it, but it's boring to play it alone. You need to play it with a group of you. So it's Oh, let me just quickly do a shout out to the chat. Who we got now? We've got Otherzinc. Hello, Otherzinc. Dirk Griggety's there with us. Oh, I'm gonna cough again. I'm resisting coughing. Shishno Elite. Hello guys, if you're still in the chat, and anyone else is in the chat, please spam a like and drop a sub to us both and share it out on Twitter.
Otherzinc said he's playing Gears 5 Horde and Flight Simulator. Hope you're enjoying them.
He loves those. Where have you flown to, Zeke? Drop in the chat where you've flown to. I'm trying to fly to Mexico. Because I was going on holiday to Mexico, I thought I'd do the flight myself. So I'm sort of in the process of flying to Mexico.
Are you flying to Mexico so you can watch the Forza Horizon 5 festival in November?
Yeah. No.
Mm.
No. Yeah, but could do drive by. Should we say
What's
that?
all the driver tires like?
Yeah. The graphics are terrible. Really, like when I crash into the ground, houses just look like squares. What kind of game is this? So where was we? Oh, yes, what else have you been doing? Nothing else? So you've been busy at work, yeah? I've got work tomorrow night, so I'm switching to shifts. I've got 2 or 3 night shifts on the trot.
Yes, which is why we're doing it early, because Elite couldn't do it this weekend, so...
I could have done it for the hotel, because we get put up in a hotel when we do projects, but I think I've said this before in another podcast we did it. Hotel they put me in again has no Wi-Fi. What kind of hotel has no Wi-Fi? Crappy hotel. Crappy.
What work do you work for where they're like, we don't want you having fun?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wi-Fi. Exactly. Yeah. What kind of hotel doesn't even have Wi-Fi installed in their hotel in 2021? It's a terrible hotel. Because usually I like to take my Xbox with me, and then on my downtime, when I'm just sitting in my room 6 hours doing nothing, I'll plug in my Xbox and I can just smash a game out. But yeah, I'm gonna have to now just go for a wander and just find something to do, entertain myself. Hello, I am Yevon. I think it's your name, mate. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the party. Thanks for joining us. Should we get on to our topics? Because I'm fully aware that you've got to go to work. Still with you?
Yes, I've got work in like an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, yep. So
yeah, right. It's done then. Oh yeah, Shishoni, I completely agree. It'd be great if they combine the two, Flight Sim and Forza, and you could fly over the area where you're driving. Imagine that. If they somehow managed to do that, that would be incredible. I've always said the best game if they got hold of who is it? Zobo is it made Flight Sim? If they got that and then wanted to compete on the superhero sort of with superheroes with Sony, they should make a Superman game using the MS Flight Sim sort of engine. That'd be fantastic. Imagine being Superman and flying around and fighting crime where you could land and just do stuff, but using the whole world to fly around. That'd be really cool. Anyway, I'll go to that right now. Let's get into our topics. So our first topic is register to buy direct from PlayStation. So do you want to fire off this one? Can you set me a link to this?
So if you know anything, and so our topic's going to be a mix of some PlayStation news and what's happening with Xbox. But if you know anything about what's happening at the moment is PlayStation 5 is really hard to get a hold of, and just like when they released it last year, prior to that they sent out, let everyone know that they can register their interest to buy a PS5, and they're doing that again. I guess they're worried about all the scalpers coming into Christmas for the holiday part of the year, so they are actually asking people to register their interest to get a PS5 this holiday. I mean, I think for almost being a year out, and it's sad to see that for both PlayStation 5 and Xbox, that they're both really struggling to get their consoles out to actual gamers in our community who want to buy it and play it, rather than try and scalp it at a really high cost. I hope they fix it, because last time they did this, it was a complete and utter disaster. The length or the delay for people who actually registered their interest for the PS5 at all, before they even got an email to say that they had been selected. So I guess last year was a dry run. This year they might actually get it right. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that was the time when they said they was going to announce it at a particular time, didn't they? But instead they pulled it forward. I don't know why. I think it is because it was just after the Game Awards, wasn't it? And I think after Xbox had showed off something, or something happened. And I remember they said, right, release it now. And there's no one was really ready, weren't prepared for it, because I think it was meant to release about a week later. And that's when the scalpers just jumped straight into it. And you thought, yes, we're ready. And gamers wasn't. That's why I reckon the first several million went to scalpers.
So they start receiving their invitations November?
Yeah.
And people who will be selected will be based on previous interest and PlayStation activities?
Yeah. it can only be a
Well-
positive, I can imagine. If it works, and if they do it right, it can only good can come from this. And I'd actually like Xbox to do something like this, to be honest, so I can get a bloody Xbox Series X.
So I was like, I think it's going to be a positive if they can get it right.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think Xbox should be doing something like that for people who want to get hold of a console this holiday.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard. Like you've been trying and trying and trying
It's
since it
been
released.
it's
Since
been
it
a year now, yeah.
the Xbox Series X.
I bought two
And
Xbox
you've
Series Slims instead. Yeah.
Whereas I guess it depends on location around the world. Like, I mean, I had so much difficulty trying to get Xbox Series X on day one. I actually messaged like the Microsoft store for New Zealand and was saying like it's not showing up as live. Like their website didn't go live for pre-orders right away at the right time.
Yeah.
So I was lucky, and then they fixed it, and I was able to get a pre-order. But everywhere else I tried to get a pre-order through for an Xbox, you couldn't. It was just gone in seconds. I was like, oh my god, if I don't get one, I'm gonna be so upset. I got one, and I got my sister to get one, so we both got it. But yeah, I think big positive if Xbox could do something like that.
Yeah.
To look after the
via the Microsoft Store on Xbox. It'd be great if you could just pop into it and go order Xbox Series X, bop, takes your details off your card you've already got on there, bop, and then it'll put you in a queue or whatever, and then it'll send you it when it's got one. That'd just be great. It'd just be so simple.
I mean, because on the Microsoft Store, like, on the Xbox Store, remember when like you could purchase or pre-order a console through the store?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still available because I haven't checked. But does anyone else have any thoughts? Do you think Xbox should do something like that for people who haven't managed to get hold of a console yet?
Yes, that's the people in chat, because I think they should. And
Yeah.
well done for Sony. They're obviously trying to still sell more consoles.
Well, we're just
But yeah,
trying
it's
to
just
combat
hope the system they're going to use works this time, and just hope they're not going to stuff their fan base over again with something silly.
I mean, look, with the world we're in at the moment, still dealing with the pandemic,
Yeah.
companies really need to start thinking outside the box and figuring out ways to combat scalpers.
Yeah.
Because the only people who are losing out are the people who actually want to own and use your hardware. So I think it's really important that they look at ways to do that. And I appreciate that PlayStation's doing it a second time, and hopefully they've kind of worked out what went well and what didn't go well from last time, and then actually streamline that process. Because I think if they did this a second time and it still was a bit horrible, I think you're going to get a bit of backlash from parts of your community and just parts of the game community in general, because it's the second time it's having an outing. But I think Xbox should definitely do something like this, especially for you, Elite. Like, if anyone can help Elite get a Series X, please help
Halo.
them.
I want to nick Astray Gaming's bloody Halo Series X. How did he get one of them, little cheat? Yeah, what other things
Releasing
It says they send them in the States, in GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, etc. They don't really do that in the UK. I've not seen either of the consoles for sale in stores. It's pretty much only pre-orders. So I think that's what makes it even harder in the UK. And then we've got obviously limited amounts of them. So yeah.
Well, I mean, others think they're releasing it to retailers. I think we've got like a couple stores in New Zealand where they are saying that if you want to go in and get a console, you have to come in store to do it.
Yeah.
But some of the other companies are also still releasing online. But yeah, I think trying to figure out ways to combat it. Best thing is if you're already an Xbox gamer and you've been with the Xbox, there should be a way to sign up and go, hey, I want to do this. Is there like an option for me to do that? I want to register my interest, because both companies and even Nintendo will be gearing up for the holidays for console sales.
Yes, but hopefully that they've
hardware.
Hopefully Xbox has been quiet because they've kept some back for the holidays, knowing that we've got Forza and Halo dropping, and hopefully they do a mass sort of release of Xboxes into stores, like right at the beginning of the holidays, beginning of December. Just so, just basically flood the market with Xbox Series X's. just as Halo releases. It'd be horrible if it's a release Halo and no one can still get hold of the console. It'd just be like, Ugh. But
Yep.
yeah.
I think.
Go on, sorry.
I'm so bad with names. I'm not even. I'm sorry.
Shizo?
Yeah, I'm horrible with names. Yes, I agree that scalpers have got online locked down. They definitely do, which is rather sad. And I think they need to fix that, guys. And scalpers just need to be less horrible as human beings.
Yeah.
All right. I know you're trying to make a way, but people are trying to keep their mental health and keep their hobbies alive and everything like that. And be kind to each other, guys.
Well, that's why I think the best way is to go to the stores, to PS Store and Xbox Store, Microsoft Store, and you order from there, because then they can monitor it, how many they're sending out. They're obviously not going to send 1,000 to the same person, so that's how they should do it. Yeah. But should we go on to the next topic? Oh, go on, sorry, you say something?
Say anyone help Elite get one. He just cries himself to sleep at night, holding his Series S's, putting them together, going, together you make a Series X.
I think also what we do need, I think it'd be nice to have Xbox making more custom ones. Just like I like they do really good custom consoles, I think, and they should make more of them and more rated. I think they'd sell a lot more consoles if they did, just rather than limited edition versions, just make that like standard. You can just as standard buy a Halo Infinite.
I want them.
Xbox. I'd even pay an extra $50 for it if it was extra £50 more than the regular one. They should just do that. I don't know why they just don't do that. Just to sell more consoles and make a bit more money.
Release a Xbox fridge skin, or just to troll people, release a limited edition Xbox Series X that looks like a brick,
or looks like a PS5 skin.
Oh no, thank you. I do not like PS5, thank you.
Or it looks like Jim.
All right,
Jim Ryan. Right, okay. Jim Ryan skin. Right, let's go into the next topic. Jim Ryan is our next topic, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so Jim Ryan's not a topic, but what he said is our topic. So Jim Ryan, we touched on this in our last episode last week. Jim Ryan's sort of future, basically, who wants to reach beyond consoles and reach out further. He doesn't want to be limited to 100 million consoles. He wants to go beyond 200, 300, 400 million, and he doesn't like his games being gated, which pretty much mimics exactly what Phil said. How he wants to reach a wider audience, reach more people, but actually Phil said 2 billion, so rather than...
He didn't want to be gated as either.
Yeah, and to use the word gated as well. I don't want to gate my games. And now Jim Ryan, a year after launch, has come out and said exactly the same thing after Phil got so much shit and slack about it. Jim's come out and basically copy-paste what Phil said. And the PS fanbase
Eating it up.
have basically just they've more or less ignored it, haven't they? They ignored him and just stuck in Xbox. Or either that, you got the ones that are just ignoring the fact and just glazing over it, but then you got the ones that are denying it and says no, he means consoles. He just wants to sell 400-500 million consoles. He's thinking, don't be stupid. He's not going to try to sell 400-500 million consoles. What was it I was listening to where actually the console market is actually getting smaller? Where did I hear that? Anyway, what's your thoughts?
Might have been RDX. You might have been talking about.
Yeah, was it who said it? Yeah,
might have been listening to RDX.
Was it Tim Dog?
Possibly. Oh, I can't remember.
Nah.
To be honest, there's been so much happening, and so much misinformation within the community about infighting and rubbish. I think it's interesting. I mean, we did touch on it last week, and I was really aiming at the PlayStation community, going like, wake up! They're trying to tell you what's going on, and you guys are still asleep to it. And I still think a lot of their community is asleep to it, especially in the Pegasus Nation, because they're just holding on to that PlayStation 5 console. PlayStation console is the only way, and exclusives is the only way. Yeah. But yeah, Jim Ryan talked about how they're stuck having like these great first-party experiences only being limited to the amount of console sales available. So they can only sell maybe 10 to 20 million copies of the software when they could be reaching a far wider audience. So I definitely agree with what he's trying to say there, and he's trying to kind of indicate that it doesn't matter like where the games or where the software is. It's still a PlayStation game at the end of the day, and for it to reach a wider audience, it's going to support the dev. It's going to support PlayStation and keep them around here longer. It's going to increase their revenue, and they are a business at the end of the day. And for people who want to support them and want them to do well, and you keep complaining about Microsoft having this massive wallet, do you think less software sales is going to increase PlayStation's ability to create new experiences, or allow them to purchase more developers so they can further expand out their portfolio? Because I feel like their portfolio in gaming is a bit stale, and they need to increase their diversity, because that's exactly what Xbox has done now. You guys complained about it for years. They've done that, and now PlayStation is looking a little stale. So if he's telling you that he wants to go that extra mile and say we're wanting to expand outside of just the PlayStation console sales, take heed of that, because I think that is an important thing that people just aren't really paying attention to. It was an interesting interview. I mean, he talked about a whole heap of different things, and then it was all over Twitter that he was kind of didn't really know what he was talking about when it came to gaming in the Middle East, and made it sound like gaming in the Middle East didn't exist until PlayStation came along. Yeah, I would say not.
And then
It
you had
sounds like
loads of
he's a
people from
bit
the
out
Middle
of
East
touch.
saying he's an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit out of touch about some things. It's not like it's the first time he's been out of touch about some things, like who plays old games. Gamers do, because nostalgia is important. You look at Nintendo, who's planning on re-releasing Ocarina of Time again, available for the Nintendo Switch, and Majora's Mask available for the Nintendo Switch. Sega games coming to the Nintendo Switch. Do you know how many people are going to buy that
Yeah.
stuff again? Because it's nostalgic, and it brings up memories. So, I mean, he has some okay takes, and I understand why why he's heading PlayStation now from Sean Layden, and I think RDX said it right about talking about it was a bit hush hush how Sean Layden left, and how Jim Ryan took over, because it probably would have been peddling two different scenarios for where they see the company going, and one was a lot more successful making money, and one was keeping it in a gated community and keeping the community toxic. Because, I mean, just doing that enables the rubbish that we see online all the time from a set part of their community. Look what's come out of it, because they just can't, they're just so stuck in their mind about PlayStation 5 consoles only, PlayStation exclusive consoles only. We've got the Pegasus Nation. They're just doubling down on stupidness. But what are your thoughts on that, Elite?
It's actually interesting, because a lot of people, all us and like everyone in this chat, and basically Xbox gamers, were always called up for like our videos. We hate Sony, we hate PlayStation, we want them to fail. Yeah, that's all we ever hear. When we hate PlayStation, you're a PlayStation hating channel. But we always, whenever we talk like now, we're talking about Sony improving and making money and doing better. We want Sony to expand, so they bring in more revenue, so they make more games, so they have more variety and stuff like that. I don't know where they ever get the idea that we want PlayStation to fail as a business, or Sony to fail as a business, when we want them just to make more money and make more games. It's weird. But they will come at us, and I just always find it weird that they think that they've got as long as games are exclusive, they're the best thing ever. They're the best games ever, yada yada. But if they go onto any other platform, like if they go onto PC, suddenly they're under the illusion that they're gonna lose quality or something, or the games get worse if they start going out onto other platforms, or if they start making more money, their games get worse. It's a very weird and a sort of said dated mindset, and I think they just need to catch up with the times. And they are holding back Sony, and I think that's what they got Jim in. I think Sean, probably like a Phil Spencer, was a people's person, and he would listen to the people, whereas I don't think Jim is. I think Jim's a businessman, and he's coming to make money, and he knows gating their games, their software, will kill them, will kill the brand off. And as he said, to quote him, what he said, we need to reach out, just like movies and music isn't gated behind us as to a certain audience. Anyone can watch or listen to any music, which I think we've said before. He said, I want that with they basically want that with their software. They want everyone to be able to play their games. And I don't believe they've gone to it. I don't believe their games have gone on Xbox, but most certainly PC and stream. And then maybe even Nintendo, like occasionally Xbox games go to Nintendo. So maybe Nintendo get sort of some of the dregs. But that's the way it is. And Sony wants to make money. If you're not happy with PlayStation being popular, but console sales, that's all they need. They are popular. No, they need to make money, I'm afraid. Console sales is not just doing it for them. And Jim's just told you that. So, have you got any more to say?
I mean, I think if you've been watching what's been happening, I agree. I think it's been very silent. I mean, there's been some parts of the PlayStation community who have started backtracking and backpedaling on the idea of why they went to PlayStation, and they went there because that's where the games were, and it's like, no, you went there because that's where the clicks were, and that's where you were going to see your YouTube. Don't bring up Colin, please. That's where you saw that troll. But yeah, that's where they saw that they could increase their followers and get people. Like, when you start bagging on another community, and there's a huge, like, I guess, fan base behind that who wants to jump on that and clickbait and read and kind of and poke fun at a part of the community like Xbox. You're going to go there because you want the clicks. You want to no longer be the butt of their jokes. You want to take that power away from them. So a lot of them have moved over to PlayStation, and now they're trying to say, like, yes, they think this is a great move when they've previously been saying no. Games need to be exclusive to PlayStation 5 or PlayStation consoles. That's why I went there. I think some of them are just now realizing that Xbox gamers have been right. Like, if you listen to podcasts, if you look at what's been happening with the gaming industry, Xbox was right. They're ahead of the curve in relation to where PlayStation is. They're ready to do this, expanding out to more than just Xbox consoles as a whole. But you've seen what they've done to the ecosystem. So I just think we're still going to be dealing with people just not wanting this to happen. I think the hearts and souls of the minds are going to slowly be changing because, like we said, when the PlayStation says something, they do it. And if PlayStation tells them it's good for them, they believe it. So I still think they're hesitant to listen to what Jim Ryan is saying because I haven't seen many posts or positivity about it. I feel like it's actually kind of been pushed under the rug. I've seen a lot of Xbox people talking about it and saying, like, it's a good thing and it's a positive and that their community should really be lauding them for going ahead and announcing that this is their roadmap. Yeah, I don't know. I just, you and I talked about it last week, and I said, like, it doesn't matter where you play a game. If it's made by PlayStation, you're playing a PlayStation game, which makes you a PlayStation gamer. Like, that's the mentality that they need to change. Like, they need to change to that. Like, I'm still supporting PlayStation. I'm still part of that stupid Pegasus Nation if the game is on other platforms because it's still made by PlayStation. Someone is still experiencing a PlayStation experience.
You don't have to buy the console to support them. You can support them by buying their games. And, you know, if their games are open to more people and then more people buying them, they'll make more money. It's that simple. It's just, I don't know why we really have to explain business, really. It's just, everyone does it. It's universal across all countries, cultures, everything. You make money by expanding it and sending it out to more people. Yeah. You will not make money by selling it just to a sort of a minority of people.
Have you read Fuck You's...
What did you say?
Have you read his... yeah, exactly. Aimed at you, Elite. With you. Have you read his comment? He said what most of these PlayStation fanboys don't realise is a lot of Xbox gamers like PlayStation and their games but hate ponies. Well, that's my case anyway. I feel games should be played everywhere. More options, the better. And I agree.
Yeah.
100%. You and I, Ellie, do not hate PlayStation.
No.
We don't like their fan babies.
No.
I don't like some of their anti-consumer takes on stuff.
Yeah.
But you and I have been talking about how we wanted to get a PlayStation 5 this generation. Obviously, they have to give us a reason. I do not like PlayStation.
2025 now, I think, is when I'm getting one. Yeah. No, honestly, there doesn't seem to be a reason to get one before that. No, yeah.
Their fan base is super toxic. They go out of their way to target any gaming community, regardless of whether it's PC, Nintendo, or Xbox. They just tend to go after Xbox because that's that was the weakest link in the herd. And it was an easy kill for them because they could easily match it up against what they're doing in comparisons to what Xbox is doing. The tables have turned, and they can't do that anymore.
No.
So I think.
Sorry.
I think it's time that the community grows the hell up,
Yeah.
realizes what gaming is actually about, and just plays some games for once instead of trashing other gamers and telling them what they should be doing.
Their fanboys are toxic, and their channels are even worse. It's massive propaganda. And look at the clickbait articles, the thumbnails they use, and the topics they cover. It's pure propaganda and lies. The most part of it is just peddling a false narrative that, it's awful and just disgusting and pathetic to watch, really. These grown men sort of with weird agendas, like, it's just weird. I was on Twitter yesterday, and me and another Xbox game, I can't remember what we were talking about, but then as always a PS fanboy interjects and starts saying, your console's losing, it's trash, it sold less, just saying stuff like that. You just think, what the hell? I said, if you're going to debate, sort of bring a point rather than you're losing, or you lost, or your console sells less, and then the other guy, the Xbox guy I was chatting to, because then we were saying stuff back to him, said, what are we losing, what's your point? And then the other guy I was chatting to messaged me, said he's just reported me, I got a 24-hour ban. So
on Twitter?
Yeah. So I blocked the guy. But that's what they do. That's what happened to my first account. They engage you, and then when you reply, they report you, block you, get you blocked, and then they move on to the next person. And that's what they've always done. Yeah. So I said to him, when you come back up, I said, report all these comments back and then block him. That's what I did.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, block it. It's just ridiculous. You just think, it's like kids, It's like talking to children sometimes. They just sort of hit and run. They want just playground tactics. We've got Directed Gaming in the chat.
Welcome, the new legal.
Yeah, hello, legal. You're all right, mate.
It is propaganda. I think they're trying to peddle some rubbish there. But I mean, Jim Ryan's trying to tell you the writing is on the wall. I mean, it's going to take longer for them to get there because they're still trying to perfect their online infrastructure. Still trying to get there. So they're going to get there, but it's going to take a little bit longer to get there. And as a community, I think it is our job to tell them to grow the fuck up. Yeah. PlayStation.
Alright, I've got Lewis in chat. Hello, Lewis. Welcome aboard. Please, guys, why you're as many as it... Maybe actually you haven't got in chat. Have you got?
I don't know.
No,
we got a few
Please
people
sub and share. Please drop a sub and share it out, and drop a like, spam a like. Share onto Red. Red said when she gets to 1,000 subs, she's going to actually make a video. So.
So if I get it to 1,000 subs before you do without making a video, Elite, I'll be ecstatic about that. Yeah, you would be like, you're not allowed on this podcast.
I would quit. I'll rage quit.
You'll report yourself on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll report myself. Mass report myself. Right, should we go into the third topic? So I'm conscious of the time. What's it? Yeah, we've got.
It's been everywhere. Oh, it's on. Like, we've got time. It's only it's been everywhere this week. Forza Horizon 5 and all the people who got to do an early preview. Obviously, online wasn't available for them. But that game looks so good. And from what everyone has been saying, and everyone who's been playing the game and actually got a chance to play the game, have been completely and utterly positive about the game. And shout out to Fonz and RDX, who was saying that and pointed that very fact out.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Like, I haven't seen anything negative about people from people about Forza Horizon 5. The game looks so good. Looks so much fun. Like, I think Playground Games has really hit it out of the park, and I feel like it's gonna rate really well. when it comes out next month. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't believe it's
I,
almost November,
I
guys.
reckon it's
Almost
gonna.
Forza Horizon times.
I reckon I'm quite worried. I've got a feeling because they do this with Xbox, and I've noticed all the when the Xbox One X come out, its games were outrating the PS4 Pro scores, wasn't it, every week, and it just proved the Xbox was better. We knew it was more powerful and was better, but you've noticed the reviews that are coming in for Xbox Series X are dramatically lower than the PS5 score. This is for multiplats and all, dramatically lower. Like, what was it? Back for Blood is like 6-7 points lower. Psychonauts are the same. The games coming out are dramatically lower, and that's obviously because they get more negative reviews than the PlayStation sites, because the PlayStation sites just get boosted by their own channels. That's why Metacritic's bloody flaws and a fraud. But my worry is the same's going to happen with Forza. I like they did with Gears. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and downscore it and say it's just another Forza, just like they did with Gears. It's just more Forza. Yeah, we've played it before. Yada yada yada, and give that speech. It's either going to be that, or it's going to be massive. And I reckon it could possibly hit about 94, 95, be the highest rated Forza. But I've got a weird feeling that it's going to be scored lower than the others because media is just gone so pro Sony, and they're going to downscore it. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Just another Forza. We'll read. You watch.
Part of the media will probably go, it's another Forza. It's not bringing anything new. But I also think that you're going to get a lot of people who are gonna say that this is a hell of a lot better, and they've managed to outdo themselves again. Because if you look at the history of Forza Horizon, every single one that they've released has rated higher than the previous one.
Yeah.
I mean, the caliber of what they're doing in that game. What's it going to be like for the next game? Like, how will they outdo themselves?
What,
I
you mean
think
Fable? That's the next game.
Well, it's a different team working on that, but yeah, it is their next game. But all within the Forza Horizon franchise or series itself, because there's been talk and rumors flying around that maybe they'll do a more of an online as a service type thing with that, where you have the Forza Horizon Festival move around, and all you do is get added on another map or location around the world, rather than this being number 6 and number 7 and so on and so forth, because eventually they're going to have to maybe look at ways to change the formula to keep it exciting. And I think they've done a great job so far with doing that, and we're already at number 5. Kudos to them, because for them to outdo themselves and be better than the previous game, that's quite impressive and quite a feat. And this is probably the premier racing game at the moment, or specifically this franchise is probably one of the highest rated racing game franchises out there consistently. If you want to play a racing game and you don't want it to be just heavy simulator focus, you're going to play Forza Horizon. Especially on console, it's very well optimized for console. Obviously, sometimes there's a bit of issues on the PC optimization side, but I think having an extra year, because it's been 3 years since we got Forza Horizon game, having an extra year for them to work on it, and that extra year for them to really optimize for the new next gen consoles. They've done an amazing job. Like, I would have wondered to see what this would have been like if it had come out last year, and I don't think we would have been talking about it in the way we would be talking about it right now as it would have been last year, because people have, like, if you've watched any of the footage for the Series X, and you're watching the new Bronco car, like, the reflections in the back on the windscreen of the car are extremely impressive. Like, when you're driving through and you can see the checkpoint flags in the back and so on and so forth, because they've been very clear that they aren't using ray tracing reflections for the, like, in-game, only in Forza Vista for their photo mode. But there's a lot of things going on in that game that are extremely impressive, and they deserve all the support and all the accolades that are coming their way for this, because I can't wait to play this day one. I know that, I don't know if you're a big racing fan, Elite, are you a racing fan?
I don't mind. I'm not only keen on Forza Motorsports, to be honest. But I do prefer the arcade races. I'm not a big fan of racing games, but I don't mind jumping into Forza Horizons and having just a random drive around and stuff. I much prefer the off-road, off-track, open-world kind of racing arcade stuff. Reminds me of the old Outrun games. Remember Outrun? Might be before you.
Know of it, yep.
Yeah. So it's more like those. Just seems a bit more fun. I don't know, something to it. But it'd be interesting to see where it goes. What's happens with the scoring? As I said, it only takes, just like a lot of Xbox games. You could have the majority score it high and give it a 10 out of 10 or whatever. But it only takes a couple of, remember like Metro. What was that game? They gave us a few games now for Xbox. They've scored 4 out of 10s, which just drags the overall score right down by about 2 or 3 points. That's what it takes. It only takes a couple. You can have 8, 10 out of 10s, but it only takes 1 or 2, 4 out of 10s just to drag that score under 90, and that's all it takes. And that's why I won't be surprised happens. It'd have good reviews, but you have a couple of just nasty reviewers, obviously paid shields, that will drag that score down.
I don't even think it's just paid shields. I think we're gonna get people to review on it just because they can.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Critic at the moment, is the people who review it because it's on Xbox.
Yeah.
The people who review bomb it just because it's on PlayStation. Like, people who review bomb shit shouldn't be allowed to play the game.
Yeah.
Just a fact. If you're going to troll and not support the devs and the work that they've done, because they've put a lot of work into this and they've created an experience that everyone should love and enjoy, go fuck yourself and play a game that you do like. Don't trash a game that everyone else likes.
Panda!
Well, it's true.
It's
true, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm just worried it's going to get review bombed.
Legal. I think I remember when Halo. I can't remember who it was that reviewed Halo when that Halo 5 came out, and the guy that reviewed that scored it something like a 7 out of 10, and said, "I went into this. I've never been a fan and never really liked the Halo franchise." And you're thinking, then why are you reviewing it? Why have you already gone into it with a negative opinion on it? It's just, it's that kind of thing. When you get these same people reviewing PlayStation games, they'll go into it with I love The Last of Us, so I'm really looking forward. This is my favourite franchise. Naughty Dog's my favourite developer. I'm really looking forward to I've already scored it 10 out of 10 before I've even played the game. And I'll say things like that. In my head, it's already a win. And you're thinking, this is ridiculous. Why you're not journalists? There's no neutrality in these people's minds at all. Should we bounce on to... so we had Forza Horizon.
We haven't even finished this topic, Elite.
I was saying, Forza Horizon was trashed, and then...
What's interesting is if you've been on Twitter or just been around the block in general as a Xbox gamer, you know that this is coming a mile away. You can see it coming a mile away. Is the people who go in find the worst shots that they can, go use very heavily compressed videos and photos and other things, and try and say the game is downgraded, and try and say the game is trash. And just try and detract away from the positivity. And every single Forza Horizon game that has released has not been a downgrade, has not been trash. Actually, they've outdone themselves and made it better in every single iteration of the game or the franchise itself. Like, people were trying to say that about Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
And you ate your fucking words then too. Sorry, I'm really pissed off. They just annoy the hell out of me. That I am annoyed. It's because I'm up early. I'm not a morning person, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might have to block Serena. Oh my god.
Block you for an hour.
Yeah. Put you in a timeout.
Yeah, timeout.
Yeah, but like it just annoys me. Like, time and time again, you've seen what Playground Games have done. It isn't downgraded. And for you to come find these screenshots and try and put it in the worst light possible, that shows how ridiculous you are and how afraid you are that this game is gonna do well, and you don't have access to playing it because you choose to play on PlayStation only. Grow up.
Yeah.
Let people experience it and enjoy it, because this is going to be available to anyone on Game Pass day one, whether you're playing it on PC, whether you're playing it on Xbox. It's going to be available on xCloud or whatever the actual name of it is. I can't even remember what they renamed it. But like, I think that's stupid, and we saw this coming, and we knew it was coming because they did it with the Halo beta. They're doing it to Hellblade 2. What are your thoughts on people doing this?
Well, you know what Forza is, isn't you?
Quality.
Top quality.
Quality.
Well, we all know that the Forza Horizon series is also factually, I think, the highest scored racing series on the market, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that I don't think there's any racing games that was rated higher than Forza. And then I think that the second highest rated, I think, might be Forza Motorsport. So they obviously need to charge.
I think Horizon's dethroned Motorsport.
Oh yeah,
but in the Forza world, yes.
Horizon's number one, and Motorsport's 2. And I reckon the third might be probably, I don't know. I know it's not GT. I think GT's about fourth now. I think as the ratings go.
I don't know.
But I was just gonna say, I'm looking forward to this game. I was just gonna mention about Hellblade too. I don't know if anyone's seen on Twitter that they're also the same people that are taking Forza Horizon. With the Game Awards coming up, and there's the strong rumour that they're going to show gameplay at the Game Awards, which I sort of suggest they would do ages ago. People now trying to downplay Hellblade 2. They're trying to hate Hellblade 2. And one idiot, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name there. On Twitter. Who does LED, another LED, is it? He said he looking forward to this game failing, and said, what did he say now?
It's another game that's not on PlayStation, and so of course he's looking forward to the game failing because he can't play it.
Yeah. Oh no, that's what he said there. You just reminded me actually. He said, "No, I just lost it again. Bollocks." No, he said something along the lines about. Oh no, he wants after the 2019 when they'd done their CGI thing there. Well, actually in game in engine, wasn't it? In engine sort of footage. Yeah, in engine footage. He said it's going to be the game that he's looking forward to the game being downgraded as well. And he says if it's not as good as the 29 version, then it's trash. The game's trash. But it's all weird where they're trying to think the gameplay needs to be as good as an engine. I mean, if the gameplay does come out and it's as good as the in-engine gameplay, then PlayStation doesn't have anything that will top that for the next 25. Because Spider-Man certainly won't top it, and nor will Wolverine. So, not the style of the games and the graphics they do. So, Sony won't have anything to top that. If Hellblade 2 comes out and its gameplay, which is saying it needs to be, looks anything or better than the in-engine gameplay, in-engine graphics, then it won't be topped till about 26, 27, I reckon. What do you think?
It's interesting, like, when you kind of... I guess when developers release an idea or show... This is what we're aiming for the game. And so sometimes they haven't even completely 100% decided on everything to do with art style or direction or anything like that. So they can make changes. It's not... and they usually put a little statement at the bottom saying this is not indicative of the final game or whatever. Yeah. Changes may occur, right? Like they usually kind of offset that. And Phil said that this is what they're aiming for. Like this is it running an engine, and this is... they're targeting the Xbox Series X specs, targeting that 12 teraflops. And what they showed was early version of the game and obviously the developed version of...
Unreal Engine 5.
Unreal Engine 5. Like, it wasn't final release of what was going on. They were working on that. So, to just already kind of be expecting the shoe to drop and already expecting Hellblade 2 to be a downgrade, like, wait and see. Everyone was super impressed with Hellblade 1 for what they did on that. They're using Unreal Engine 5 and PlayStation gamers have been lauding that and saying that's the next coming of God or whatever they want to talk about.
You know they still think it's exclusive. The demos, they still think Xbox
some of them
Series X
cannot.
Yeah, it cannot run the demo.
So, but to turn around and go, like, I'm expecting it to be a downgrade, wait and see, because Ninja Theory haven't disappointed anyone so far, right?
Yeah.
They did Heavenly Sword and everyone wanted another one of that. People were really upset when Hellblade Ninja Theory got acquired by Xbox. And then what we saw was what they're aiming for and their intention and the engine that they'll be working on. We haven't, and the assets in the game, like we haven't seen what this is going to look like. We don't know what the gameplay is going to be like specifically. We don't know what the story is at this point, other than it seems like after the second one, obviously, and it's more about war. But wait and see. I mean, Xbox gamers are eagerly waiting to see this, so I don't think it's fair to turn around and say it's a downgrade. Like, people talked about Puddlegate with Spider-Man, but there was actual footage showing what they showed initially and what they showed afterwards. Like, we don't have that. So we don't know. You can't say it's going to be a downgrade. You can't say it's not going to be a downgrade. I don't think it's going to be a downgrade. I think they have they have set a high goal for what they want to do, and they want to make the best looking experiences that they can on the hardware that they're releasing on. So I think we're in for a treat, and I really hope it shows it at the Game Awards at the end of the year, because I really just don't want to wait any longer for Hellblade 2, guys.
And the thing is, when they show that, the gameplay to that, Sony's got nothing that can counteract it. They've got no next gen game. All they've got is God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Forza GT Sport. It's just GT7, isn't it? And they're all three of a cross gen. So even if they show God of War, at the end of the day, that's going to be a cross gen title. Hellblade 2, we know, is on the Unreal Engine 5 and completely next gen. And I think that's where I think Xbox will start taking the lead, when they start dropping the next gen titles while Sony are still releasing cross gen titles. I think that's where you might get a sort of the gap between the quality of the games start forming.
Yeah, I mean, like, we all know Hellblade 2's not cross gen, guys. It's clearly obvious. It's going to be next gen only.
Yeah.
Last topic, but hello everybody. Hi, Hebot. But yeah, I mean, just a reminder, guys, like, ignore the trolls on Twitter who are trying to downplay Forza Horizon 5. Go play it day one if you've got Game Pass. I mean, everyone in chat probably is going to be playing that game because it looks fire. It'll play great if you like racing games and you want to have fun. I really want to try out the what's that thing that wasn't available? Like Trackmania, where you can design your tracks and stuff. That's what I really want to do. I think that's Forza, gonna be that's gonna be fun. Like, honestly, if you want to play a game that's fun, go play Forza Horizon. They're really good at making racing games fun, not taking themselves too seriously, and it's just a good time. And the game looks great, guys.
Well, that's the exciting thing about the Xbox games. You've got Forza, it's basically got a Forge mode where you can create your own maps. You've got Halo is releasing with a Forge mode where you can create your own sort of, which is meant to be massive, by the way, isn't it? That's why they've delayed it. It's just too big to release with the game originally. So that's massive. So that's, I don't know if you've heard news there, but it sounds mental. So I just want to before we go into the last topic, I just want to say a quick shout out then to Hebot that's joined us. Great video did, mate. We all watched that. That's fantastic. Go and check out Hebot's channel. And Sappho. Is it Sappho? Thank you for joining us. Right, so our last topic is...
And it's our last topic because I have to go to work soon.
Yeah, it's nice to work. Why I'm going to go and play Xbox. Xbox Series X sold 100,000 copies. Units in Japan. Over 100,000 units in Japan. Right, do you want to go with this? Go on, off you go. I know you want to. No swearing.
What are you talking about? Ghost, did you tell me not to swear?
Yeah, no, go on.
Okay, yeah.
You can swear. I'll give you shits.
So basically, Xbox Series X and Series S units, both, because they have two SKUs, has now sold over 100,000 units in Japan. I think we should just let that sit there for a moment. Over 100,000 units in Japan.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's good.
Like, considering Xbox One, the Xbox One generation, took over 4 years to reach that mark.
Yeah.
And the Xbox Series X and S have done that in less than 12 months.
Yeah. And
so
they said by the end of 2021 it would have outsold the Xbox One's
Xbox One
lifetime sales by the 2021. Yeah,
yep.
that's bad.
I mean, what do you want to say on that, Elite? Because I'm happy for you to kind of have your say and then I'll have mine after you finish coughing to death.
Yeah. So let me just get out of the way. Sorry, everyone. Yeah. So, yeah. Obviously, I've read the article, and they're really liking the Xbox Series Slim because of the size of it. See exactly what we was talking about. They like small consoles. This is why the PS5 is actually just doing. It's a Japanese product, and it's got much more freedom than Xbox has. But they love the Xbox Series X because of its size. The PlayStation is just far too big. I don't know what I was thinking. A Japanese company making something so massive when everything they enjoy is tiny. So I think it's fantastic. And obviously this is just in line now with the xCloud releasing. So it could be part of people playing the xCloud, sort of enjoying it and thinking, I'm going to pick up a console so I can play sort of this at home or enjoy this, you know what I mean, on the go. Sort of. That's the good thing about the Xbox Series Slim, that you can just pick it up and just throw it in a rucksack or just almost put it in your pocket. That's what I like about it. But I think fantastic sales. It's doing brilliantly. And obviously not as good as PlayStation, but it's never going to do that because Japan has a limited supply because they like to export, they don't like to import, and they especially don't let sort of places like America just freely just market, put their own stuff and take sort of monopolies in their country. Japan are very, very sort of for their own sort of things first. They're very hard to break. They're hard to break, Japan. Unlike England and America and probably Australia, we don't really give a shit. We will just buy anyone can just monopolise our countries basically. Yep. Japanese, come on, anything. But what do you think?
I think enough can't be said about the optics around Xbox this generation. Looking at last generation, like Phil has made it very clear they are dedicated to looking after the Japanese gaming market and like cultivating that and getting experiences that these gamers want to play. And I think that like what he's been doing over since he's become head of Xbox is clearly showing and paying off dividends in the Japanese market. You can definitely see that they are more open to Xbox than they were last generation. There are a lot more games coming out on Xbox that are Japanese style games. And well done to Phil Spencer. Well done to Xbox in general for making this, putting in this extra effort to kind of say, we want all gamers from everywhere to play Xbox games, to be part of our ecosystem, to be part of our fan base. And I think it also goes to what's been happening on Twitter. If you are on Twitter and you see people posting up about they've just got a Series S or they've just got a Series X in Japan, the amount of positive, like the amount of Xbox gamers jumping on and going, well done, welcome to the family, like enjoy, I think you really like Xbox Game Pass, and kind of encouraging them and making them feel welcome. That's gonna have a flow-on effect, and they're gonna get their friends to come in and go, hey, do you want to play this game, or do you want to we can game share, or do you want to play on Game Pass or the cloud, and you can play on PC and everything like that. So the community itself is very welcoming to the Japanese market. I think more so than last generation, not just as the community but Xbox in general. So well done, and I think awesome that the Japanese market are willing to actually buy it this generation. But I think positively, I think the games coming and the ease of access and the less restrictive a ecosystem or gaming platform is, the more likely you're going to get people trying it out. I mean, what I've seen in Japan is, the Series S is going to outsell the Series X in Japan. It's just a smaller console. It's beautifully designed, and it kind of fits in line with what aesthetically what they do in Japan. Like they like keeping things minimal, and they don't have a lot of space there, and it means that they can take a game on the go and just enjoy themselves. So, well done. Like, anyone in chat have anything to say?
Well, just because I was more incredible.
Potty Mouth Panda? I can't believe you wrote that in chat. Oh, okay. You're a fraud.
I was just going to say what's more the most magnificent thing about this as well, of course, is that Xbox has no games, but it's still managed to break the Japanese market more than ever before, with no games. So can you imagine that?
Yep.
It's all ruins the whole no games narrative. If it's got no games, then why is it the most successful Xbox ever? It's weird.
Yeah.
And what happens when the big games do start dropping? What happens when Forza Horizon, Halo, Starfield, Redfall, Hellblade 2, Fable, Avowed, Indiana Jones, Perfect Dark, all these games just got going boom, 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 while the other side's still waiting for Spider-Man to drop.
I think Other Zinc had a really good point saying like Sony also moved their headquarters to the United States, and yet some of the consumers wouldn't have liked that. Yep, I would agree with you 100% on that. But Pandra's lovely. Yes, Elite. I am a lovely person. No, stop being. He's a bully, guys. Report him.
Frauds.
Okay. Mass report him.
No.
But I think this is probably the what everyone will be talking about this week, regardless of the podcast. I mean, it can't be overshadowed and overstated. Well done, and any part of the community should be happy that Xbox has really, really outdone themselves in comparison. And people, I saw a tweet at the end of last week saying like, it must have been lies when Xbox was saying like this is the best they've ever done in the Japanese market, because they were trying to show like how many console sales had been over like a 1 month period, and Xbox was really low in comparison to the PlayStation and Nintendo. And I'm like, well, that doesn't tell us what's been happening over the last 10-11 months.
Nah.
So taking it out of context and trying to change the narrative to suit you, stupid. I think they can eat their words now, because we can clearly see that Xbox was telling the truth, as they have been very transparent and honest this generation with their fan base and their ecosystem. That they are doing really well in the Japanese market, and well done to Phil Spencer for putting in that effort and steering Xbox in that direction. Well done.
And if xCloud's gonna kick off anyway, it's gonna be Japan. That's what they need. That's where they need it. So once you start getting, I don't know, game sales. I don't know if I know you can play games via. Do you need? So I'm not too sure. Clued up on xCloud. So to play games on xCloud, you need a Game Pass subscription, I assume, do you? Or an Xbox account?
To play like xCloud.
Yeah.
Or
cloud play the games on xCloud.
Cloud gaming. Yes, you do need to. So, you do need to have an Xbox account for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to pay a subscription. So you can imagine all these Japanese chaps that are going to be you got the ones that buy their consoles and then paying into Game Pass so they can play their games on their phones and stuff like via xCloud. But you know, these ones possibly just buying Game Pass without even a console, paying into subscription, and to play their games on Game Pass. Once that starts getting big, I think it's going to be massive. I think xCloud. It's almost like a portable. They're in that stage. They're almost been competing with portable devices, like the Nintendo Switch to a sort of degree. But that's where PlayStation's dropped. I mean, they had their PSP and they've not done much like that since ever. So
imagine what it's going to be like when Xbox releases their TV app and all the Japanese people who own a TV and have access to the Xbox TV app. Like, you won't even need to worry about console sales at that point.
Sony's rival.
You won't need to worry about that. Yeah, well, you wouldn't need to worry so much about console sales, because then you're looking at engagement, and then you're looking at your subscription service, like the subscribers to that just increase over time, and then word of mouth, and then you, like you were saying, like people might want to go, I want to have the actual hardware to have a better experience, so they might get the hardware for it. And I think it's really important. Safiro said Microsoft does need to double down on localization. So this is a great first step, and I agree they do need to double down on localization for countries around the world, because that's also a barrier to gaming. And Xbox, Phil Spencer said, I'm putting the gamer in the middle, and we're trying to limit and reduce the barriers to people experiencing Xbox games and experiencing gaming in our ecosystem, and part of that is localization. So that's a really good point there, and I agree.
Xbox really needs
I
to
agree
compete
with
in
that.
Europe. PlayStation dominates Europe as well, and I think they really need to make a push for Europe more than they do. But I think have we finished? Are we done now? All the topics done? Because you've got to dash off
I'm
to
gonna
work.
have to get off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
I've
to get
got
off.
to get off to work.
So Panda's going to leave
Work in
us.
20 minutes.
Yeah, we've wound her up now. She can go work angry.
Yeah, the potty mouth panda, eh?
Potty mouth
I
panda. That
can't.
sounds got a sort of a ring to it, isn't it? Potty mouth panda.
Oh my god! All right, report
Right.
him, guys. He's...
Yeah, report. But anyway, guys, thank you. We've got a good crowd there. I'd like to see a good bunch of people there. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate your support as always.
Yep.
Please sub and share and like all you can. If you've sort of jumped in halfway through the show or near the end, please watch it from the beginning. Drop a like. Throw in some comments as always. Me and Panda are always welcome to have a chat and sort of debate with you all.
Message us on Twitter.
Yeah, and respond. Yeah, and
I don't debate.
You do.
I'm nice. Remember that? He said I'm nice or lovely. Yeah.
If
I
you
don't
could drop
debate.
fuck bombs on Twitter, you would.
Yeah, basically. No, I wouldn't. I try not to swear, but sometimes it happens. And we're going to try and be back next week, normal time, which is my Saturday, your Friday, if we can.
Yeah,
but
get
we
back
did
to
it
that.
early this week, just because Elite wasn't available, because his work doesn't like him having Wi-Fi when he where he goes. But thank you, everyone,
Thank you
for
for
joining
watching.
us, and have a lovely rest of your week and weekend, guys.
Goodbye for now.
Bye.